Hey, this is going to be our intro music.
Oh, yes, a nice bird call.
Hello, and welcome to
5
Minutes with 5 Women. I'm Nik Crawford.
And I'm Kalynn Reeves.
And welcome to your podcast about the Texas State University production of 5 Women Wearing the Same Dress by Alan Ball. What do we have here today, Kalynn?
Well, we have none other than the man that we've been waiting for.
The
Michael Rau.
Michael, welcome to your own office.
To your own dungeon.
Hi.
What was that? I didn't quite get that.
Hello.
One more time for those in the back.
Hi.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
This
having
is
me.
him, the real bearded man.
As opposed to all the fake bearded men you've
Yes.
been used to on this podcast.
Right.
Michael, we just wanted to ask you a couple questions about the process and maybe about this whole machination of 5 women branches that you have thrown out into the world. I mean, it's been interesting because you have kind of created many more products in this merchandising branch of 5 women wearing the same dress. We have this podcast, we have another play that you asked for called 5 Men Wearing the Same Suit, and I think it would seem to a layman walking by that this isn't just a production of this old play, but it's a lot more, which seems a bit unconventional, you would say?
I don't think it's so much unconventional as just like accepting that the way that I'm interested in making theater these days is to give multiple entryways into a show so that it's not just what you see when you sit down right at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, but instead if you are interested in the process of it, how you get through to that process, or if you're interested in the fictional universe, if there's like another way to enjoy and be part of that fictional world, or if you're interested in immersion, like with what we're doing with the lobby, where you're going to walk through a wedding reception, that can be part of it too. And I think that like different sort of like time shifting how people experience the thing, so that like podcast can be listened to pre-show or like post-show, or like 5 years from now, or that kind of thing, versus like the immediacy of the one live event that is a transient thing that then disappears and can never be truly experienced again, even if we do like record it in some way. And so I think finding different ways to to let people experience some aspect of it in the way that like there's that parable about blind men touching an elephant, that like they can only, one of them is touching the trunk and one of them is touching the leg and one of them is touching like the ear, and
I saw
they're
a
each
documentary about that.
describing different aspects of the elephant, but none of them have the full picture of it.
Yeah. In the documentary, they all said it was like a warm, fuzzy tire. Sorry if I just burst your analogy.
Well, I think no matter what, in all of the aspects that you're going to get with this thing, they will all be warm, fuzzy tires.
So, Michael,
So, Kalynn.
did you have any original ideas that have now been obliterated, erased, removed?
I thought about the idea that like all the actors learn all the parts and they switch every night, or like a lottery kind of system, but it didn't really I couldn't figure out what that would ultimately mean, and so it felt like I should just leave that on the cutting room floor.
Aren't all women the same? Quote, Michael Rau.
Oh my god.
Let's edit that out.
I feel like that's the message that would send.
Was there anything else?
Well, I have an idea. Here's
Okay.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the tables.
I've been waiting.
Oh gosh.
How do you guys see, like, the process has changed from, like, first rehearsal till now?
I think the actors are more comfortable with you. I think they were, like, really scared of you at first, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're, like, a tall, like, red-bearded man.
Can't say that enough on this podcast.
We can't. We have to always mention it.
I just wish I was a person.
Okay, you...
Like, just, like, a series of, like,
You are not
beard.
just your beard.
A series of people.
No, I think that's maybe changed. As far as, like, the production, I mean, it's, like, it's become a show, like...
I think it's changed in the obvious ways of, like, we're now more solidified on what we're doing. Characters are more solidified, pace is more solidified, etc. I'm not sure how backstage you want to go with this answer, because I also think, like, it's been a really unique experience for a lot of the undergraduate students in this production, because it has been, one, such a large scale as far as, like, population of people involved in this, and then also your decision to give all of the people, like, the same amount of weight to their voice has also been unique. And I think some people have been like, this is so interesting and fun. And there definitely have been people who are just like, can please everyone shut up except Michael.
I think that's such an interesting tension, you know, that people struggle with, of like, what does it mean to run an open room versus, like, the idea that the director is, like, the supreme artistic vision and that should be, like, the only voice that people hear, and that actors are merely pure puppets. Because it's sort of a fallacy, right? That the director controls all aspects and you know, makes, you know, is like, the show is just a perfect expression of the director's vision. When really a director does nothing. A director just sits there and has conversations with people, and then those other people choose to act the role in the right way, or choose to turn the lights blue, or choose to, you know, build the set in a certain way. And so it's funny how there's this idea that the director has this magical, mystical power of vision, when really a director is only responsible for, like, curating and, like, not even necessarily leading, but, like, inviting his collaborators, his or her collaborators, to work with him, you know? And I'm trying to, like, undermine that mythology or that idea by letting people start to realize that, like, oh, actually it's possible for other voices to be engaged in the room, and that same thing happens where ultimately the designers, the actors, like, whoever makes a decision, but it's ultimately always theirs. But now they just have more opinions as opposed to just one.
I mean, I have things to say, but it's also 6:28.
I know, this has been real, guys.
Oh my gosh, is he just walking out on us?
I mean,
I gotta go to rehearsal.
we can catch you after
Bye,
rehearsal.
Michael.
I think you got some real good stuff in there.
Yeah, but we don't
Bye,
have openers and
Michael.
closers. Have you ever listened to a podcast? They don't just work like this. Editing is very hard to do, Michael.
5 hours later.
Well, you know what they say, listeners. If you love something, let it go to rehearsal.
So we let him go. What time is it, Nick Crawford?
It's 11:28 p.m. I'm really tired.
Oh no, we're falling apart. But that's not gonna keep us from doing listener questions.
Listener questions.
What do we have today, Nick?
Today's question comes from Corey McMinn. Corey asks, what's your favorite prop or set piece in this production? Great question, Corey.
Great question, Corey. Way to get behind the curtain. You know what I mean? I would have to say the chair.
Which chair, Kalynn?
The chair.
Is there only one chair, Kalynn?
There's only one technical chair.
That's not true, Kalynn.
No, it is true.
No.
There's a chair, a beanbag, a couch.
But the beanbag only
a
comes
stool.
in Act 2. Spoiler.
Shit.
Don't cuss.
You better cut that out. Stop.
Oh my god. Don't you people go home?
And he's back.
Trust us, we want to go home.
Why don't you go
And
You
he's
messed
back.
up our
now,
podcast.
Michael, if we can finish this interview,
my god. No, we can't do an interview.
That'd be great. So, Michael,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts, statements, wishes, dreams, concerns?
Remarks, apologies.
Cha-cha cheese whiz.
Stop
Dear
stealing
God,
our thing.
that is
No,
our
but
thing.
I think it's the
my
thing.
God.
It's not the thing. It's not.
Why can't I do your thing?
Because you're not us. You're not going through what we're going through.
And, like, we're going through a lot.
I can tell.
Okay, bye, Michael. Great.
Bye, Michael.
Thanks for being a great guest.
Great.
Even better director, I'm
Awesome.
sure.
Best episode ever.
Hey, audience, thanks for listening to our best episode. This episode's not going to have a number, it's just going to be episode best. Michael. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.